How's everybody doing on their homework assignments? Anybody get done with their seven layers deep, clarity goals, any digitals? How's it taking your own digitals process going? Today's going to be a little bit of catch up so we can all make sure that things are getting done because we're getting ready to start the submission process. Fatima will be joining us today as well. Let's see. Camera's acting up again a little bit today. Let's see. Let's read the comments. Good morning, everyone. Hope you're ready to work. Still getting my picks done for my digitals. I got some digitals yesterday morning. Awesome. Great, great job, Nisa. Lighting here in my place isn't that great. Working on my digitals today. Yeah, so it's best to take your digitals outdoors so you get the natural light. But it could be hard to find like a plain white solid wall outdoors. You kind of have to drive around your city a little bit to find one. Let me see if I can get my camera focused a bit better.
Is it okay to keep the digitals in like a folder on your iPhone, or do we have to have it on an actual card?
Both. Both. You definitely want to have your digitals on a comp card. But for easy access, quickly, having them on your phone is great too. All right, let's see here. My lighting on my digitals is terrible. I'm working from home today. I can get better lighting outside. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's probably one of the biggest um, struggles with taking your own digitals is just finding a good spot to do it. But yes, the best time would be during golden hour or in a completely shaded area, no shadows, no harsh lighting, not so you're not squinting and trying to uh you want to be able to have a relaxed face in your photos. Fatima, if you want to just unmute and answer those questions, you can do that if you're in a
Bad. I'm over here typing away. Um, Let me see. I'm curious, what are Z cards? Is that a new
It's
thing?
a Z card, Z card, it's an old school term.
Oh, okay,
People
okay.
say comp card now, but Z card or Z card is one of the original words for the same thing.
Interesting. Okay, cool. Um, Z cards are good to have for networking, yes. Um, what are some good apps to use for your portfolio? I've seen people use everything from Google Docs to um, Dropbox. Dropbox, I think, costs a little bit of a subscription. I use a website and I just have my own website and I just load all my photos there. And that way I can just send my website to people. If you want to purchase your domain for a website, um, you have to purchase that. So it comes with a yearly subscription. Um, if you're okay with your website being like, Fatima Irvin portfolio dot xyz.com. If you're fine with that, little ending that way, then you don't have to pay a subscription. Um, Someone said Canva. Use Canva for what specifically? Editing. You're gonna get them done. We trust you, Miss Angel. How much would that domain cost? It depends on which site you're using. I think Christopher might know a couple more, but I use GoDaddy.com to purchase my domain, and I pay around $200 a year for that subscription. I will say it's a large investment if you are not making money in modeling or acting, so it might not be worth it just at this point in time, but yeah. Company charged me $5K for photo shoots, comp cards, portfolio, and for a domain. Learning the game, but now I know. Yeah, it also might be the service that they're providing. They're adding extra like 2 or 3K on the end of that for their service and time. But yeah, it's always cheaper to do it yourself, and Christopher can attest to this, but it's not always easier. So just take that into consideration. You can either use YouTube University and pull your hair out for a couple hours until you figure it out, and then it's almost free, or you can pay somebody to do it for you. You just not have no stress of it. But yeah, either way, y'all.
Fatima, I think I made your iPad a host.
Okay, cool.
You should be able to share your screen. So Fatima is going to share some information that she has created on her slides in regards to helping you guys understand researching agencies a bit more, avoiding scams, kind of a recap of that. And then we're going to start talking about the whole submission process and how to start submitting. So this whole week, we've been learning, figuring things out, finding our niche, understanding how to take digitals, what the requirements are, contracts, social media, and now it's time to start implementing things and putting them into action. Right? That's part of the 5-day challenge, and us holding you accountable is let's actually do the work. And every day we've had somewhat of a homework assignment, the clarity tools, taking your digitals, updating your social media profiles, and all of that has been leading up to this point here today. And hopefully, those of you who do have their digitals already done, or maybe you have some that you've taken in the past that can still be utilized. If not, then we'll just be doing a little bit more research on what agencies we want to submit to. Yesterday, we ended our live call with coming up with 5 agencies that you would like to submit to. How many of you have done that part of your homework? Do you have a list of agencies that you were interested in submitting to? I saw somebody put a thumbs up. Yes. You can use the chat just so we can make sure we're all communicating here. Yeah, Canva is a great tool. We use it for everything. Okay. A couple of people do have their digitals done. Fatima, I know you've been going to a lot of in-person castings. Are there some agencies on your list that you want to submit to still online?
Um, what you, I don't understand what you're asking. Are you asking me if I want to submit to the ones I went into person?
No, I'm saying, are there agencies that you still want to submit to that you have not yet?
I think so. I have a whole list of agencies, because of my agency automation thing. But when I first got out here, I was like, I'm gonna go into every in-person casting I can. So um, that's what I did. So far, I haven't found any more in-person castings, but I think I'm going to start submitting virtually again as well. So yeah, there are some on my list that I haven't submitted to in the last 6 months, 8 months, that I'm going to hop on soon.
Okay. Well, we're ready when you are. If
Uh,
you are able to share your screen, you can
mm,
just jump right into it.
Okay.
There she is.
Hi. Hi, everybody. Good morning. Let me share my screen on my iPad. Start broadcast. Okay. Awesome. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. We can go right in here. Okay, agency automation. I know you guys are like, what's that? It is the program that I put together that just gives you a crash course on agencies, what they are, how to submit, scams, all that. So today, I'm going to start with the education of scams. Okay, because it's super important. I think somebody in there, in the chat was saying how this company was trying to charge them 5K for something basic. And Greg Chan was like, that doesn't sound right. You've possibly almost got scammed. So we're going to go over some tactics that scammers use and how you can spot them, so that you don't make the mistake of paying 5K for something that's really only worth about like 500, 600, right? Okay. So, education of scams. Scam is a deceptive practice or fraudulent scheme targeting individuals seeking to enter or advance in the modeling industry. It also, it often includes promises of lucrative opportunities, professional development, or exclusive access to high-profile work. But it ultimately aims to extract money or personal information from the victim. Okay, this can involve fake agencies, unsolicited offers, or misleading contracts. Now, I'll show you guys an example of what a real life scam that I got in the past looked like so you guys can see visually, okay? Here's a few of the tactics that scammers use in order to get your little monies. They will use fake online ads. So scammers do invest a little bit of money in their scamming schemes, okay? Say that 10 times. Scammers may post fake ads for modeling opportunities and ask you to pay to learn more. Okay, they may ask for a monthly subscription, a discounted photo shoot, or a booking agent fee. Okay. The next one is high pressure tactics. This is basically when they try to force you into making a decision in a short amount of time. They may use emotionally charged phrases or words to coax you into making a decision right then and there, because if you're sad or you're upset about something, you're more likely to make a wrong decision and to make it before you're ready to make that decision, if that makes sense. Name dropping or unrealistic promises. This is super big, especially in LA, that I'm learning since I moved here. People will name drop all day. Okay. What I mean by that, scam artists may promise fame and fortune, but not deliver on those promises. Okay. Sometimes scam agencies have pictures on their pages or websites of successful models they didn't actually represent. Okay. They also use names of well-known companies who have supposedly hired models they represent. So anybody could take a Coca-Cola logo off Google and post it on their website and say, yeah, Coca-Cola represented one of us. And that's not actually true. That's why doing research is super important to see, did they actually work with Coca-Cola in the past, or are they faking? Okay. So now we know what some of the tactics are, but now let's go over how to spot the red flags. Some of the things that I like to tell people is just do your research, okay? Use Google. It's free, okay? Use your social media websites and platforms. It's free. Ask people questions. It's completely free, and most times people are absolutely transparent about scams. They're like, "Yeah, no, girl, I did that and they charged me $500. It wasn't even worth it. Do not do it." And people are usually open and transparent about their experiences in this industry with scams. Okay. Read reviews and references. I'm such a review girly. I will go to Google and read all the reviews, and I'll go to Reddit and I'll read what people are saying on Reddit, and I'll just read all the reviews I can. Okay, both good and bad. And use ChatGPT. I mean, hey, we're all a little guilty of using AI nowadays. ChatGPT is like a gold mine for information, instant information, and it's sort of like a Google, except you don't have to scroll through a bunch of other things that aren't answering your question before you find an article or two that is answering your question. So ChatGPT does the research for you, basically. Okay. Some of the things you can do to kind of rule out if this is a scam or not, you can request an in-person meeting before paying for a modeling agent or scout. Sometimes agencies will have you come in person for an in-person interview to see if you're a real person, if you really look like what your pictures say. And that's their way of ruling out, okay, this person is not catfishing us. They really look like what they said they look like in their digitals. And this is a bit of their personality in person. Be wary of any offers that sound too good to be true. So once again, going back to that false promise thing or over promising, oh, if you sign with us, you'll make up to 50K a year. That's a bit drastic, especially because there are no promises. Okay, nobody in this industry can promise you anything. They can't guarantee you anything. Okay, they can say, well, working with us might help you improve in your modeling skills, or the knowledge you obtain with us might advance your career further, but they can't say if you sign with us or if you work with us, you're going to be on the cover of Vogue. That is just not possible for somebody to guarantee something like that, okay? Only send personal information after signing a contract and being certain it's legitimate. So if somebody is off the rip asking you for your social security, your full name, and your address, and y'all ain't even discussed contracts yet, red flag, block them, okay? Read the small print of any contract. Sometimes they will slip language in there that is a little hard to understand or easy to miss. And it'll be things that really screw you over in the end, okay? Because contracts are legally binding. Check the sender's email address. The email addresses, actually, Christopher, we ran into a couple email addresses that were gmail.com, which was interesting to us because one of the things we teach aspiring models and actors is that a legitimate company or agency have domains. And what that means is that they have their agency.com. It's not their agency at yahoo.com. You know what I mean? It's an actual .com or .org URL. And so when they email you, it'll be that agency at thatagency.com. So Christopher's email is studio713. Oh, wait, Christopher's email is chris at studio713.com. That's his email. And so his domain is studio713.com. He owns that. And that's how you know he's a legitimate business. Look for email signature with a company name, logo, website link, social media page, link, phone number, and or address. This is all just things that can solidify that sort of legitimacy. Always search the addresses, make sure they're real. Always look up the phone numbers, make sure they're actually active phone numbers that are attached to a business. And always check out their social media pages because there's a lot of things on social media that can point to red flags, like high follower count and really low engagement, or not tagging the models or actors in the work that is posted. And look out for unusually high fees, vague payment terms, or pressure to sign a contract. So again, one of those things that's like, yeah, you don't need all the details until we sign. Just hurry up and sign this contract. That's a big red flag. Okay. Here's one of the examples that is actually one of the examples that I found. This person randomly DMs you and says, would you be interested in this big opportunity? Sign with this modeling agency, travel to exciting places across the world, and get paid with modeling jobs instantly with our guaranteed top clients, national or international. And guaranteed, you guys already know, I just harped on it twice already. Guaranteed is never actually guaranteed in this industry. Okay. But this reply is, yeah, that would be great. Where are you based? So inquiring, getting more information, clarifying on some of the things that they say is always good and can never hurt. So then they send the second message that says, here's our website. Put my name in there as your model scout. And once your application is shortlisted, the model manager will contact you to discuss more information. So part of this that throws up the second message that throws up red flags is you are not answering my question. Instead, you're giving me something to do. And it's outside of this personal conversation that you started with me. And so that's a red flag immediately. Instead, they could have been like, oh, yeah, we're based out of here. If you'd like more information, here's our website, or you can clearly see on our Instagram page what we're about and who we are. Here's the link to this Google review, something of that nature, continuing the conversation naturally. Instead, they completely ignored the question and was like, yeah, go to this, do this application, and this other person will reach out to you. So the second red flag is that a second person, the model manager, this mystery manager, is going to come in and swoop in and take me away to stardom and fame. And it's like, but you're the one who hit me up. So why aren't you connecting me to this model manager? Why am I filling out this random application on a third-party website that is .co.uk? Okay, guys, that's that weird domain, models.co.uk. That's that weird domain I was talking about earlier. So yeah, so just random messages, guaranteed success, follow-up questions are ignored, a strange URL, and a different person will contact me later. Super weird, big red flags. I would take the company, I would research that. I would take the Instagram page, I would research that, and those sort of things, and probably just by the messages we have here, I would just deductive reasoning, this is a scam. Okay. Before we move on to the next topic at hand, that was a lot of information about scams in general. So I just want to see if we have any questions or comments regarding that as a whole. Any other things you want to ask, like maybe scams through emails, what those might look like, or anything of that nature? This just happened to me recently. Yes, they will DM you if they see that you have model in your Instagram tags, if they see that you have your email contacts on your Instagram page, they will email you opportunities to work with Nike and Gucci and all these sort of things. And no, don't Nike would never. I don't want to say never, but it's highly unlikely that Nike is shopping around Instagram for models. You know what I mean? They are going directly to the agencies and saying, "We want to hire models. Find us a model for this." They're not on Instagram, they're not on Facebook scrolling through hundreds of models pages and, "Oh, we like her, let's email her personally." They don't have time for that. They're not going to do that. So they're going to have somebody else do that. And somebody else is almost always an agency or a professional agent. Okay. I just got a DM on TikTok that screams scam. Yes, some of them are more obvious than others. That's why having these steps and these red flags are good, because you know in the back of your head, UK dot or co.uk is not a legitimate domain, or it's a domain that's a little funky or weird. So those sort of things. And some emails look so perfect. Okay, and then so the thing about emails is that they can spend a lot more time with them and be a lot more neat and careful with them. And they are getting better. I'm going to say that the emails that I receive are getting better, but you always want to still go through the steps. Like all the steps that I mentioned, all the things that I mentioned, copy and paste that Gmail. You have to be very meticulous about it. Copy and paste the Gmail or the email link and Google it. Say, hey, Google, is this a legitimate email, or is it a scam email? Or what do you think about this email? Is there any information about this email? Or they use a name. Oh, highlight the name, put that and go, what can I find out about this person? I was once emailed by a really big, well-known celebrity photographer. Okay. And the email was like, I really love your look. Da, 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 I want to work with you. Let's, have more contact. And so I was going back and forth through email with this person. And I was like, at some point I was like, wait, you're so well known, and this seems like too good to be true. They're saying they're going to pay me for this, this, and that, and that I'm their muse. And I'm like, I don't know where this person came from, like really out of the blue. Let me Google their name. Google the name, it's actually a real person. And this is where I say they use real people's names and real businesses' names to then edify themselves when they don't actually work with those people or they aren't actually those people. But I Googled their name and this person's Facebook came up. And so I decided, let me go on this Facebook page. Let me see what they're about. I'm scrolling through the Facebook page. They're a real celebrity photographer, really big in the game. And I decide, let me see what people are commenting. Let me see who's following them. I open one of the posts on their Facebook page. And literally the first comment under this post is, hey, I got an email from you that's saying you're going to pay me to model for you. It's a scam. I'm just letting you know. And that person responded, oh my God, I had no idea. Please report that email. I would not reach out to models directly to work with them. Boom, all my research had been concluded at that point in time. So yes, it was a real person. Yes, they had all these social media pages and all this fame, but they still were not the ones who were sending that message to me. And so I go back to the email, look at the email domain. It's that famous person's name and some funky lettering and numbers dot, whatever, at gmail.com. So that's how I knew. And so I was like, okay, yeah, delete, let's move on to the next because that is a scam. Okay. Christopher, do you have anything to add in particular about the scams before I move on?
No, I think you pretty much covered it. Great job.
Okay. Okay, awesome. The next topic, guys, is file sizes. Now we've already test run our scam verification process. We've already know that this is a legitimate agency, and now we want to submit photos. But we keep running to the issue that our files are too big and they're not being uploaded onto the site to be submitted. Okay, this is very frustrating because agencies will have different file size requirements depending on what agency or what website they're using or whatever. So one photo might actually be able to be submitted on this website, but then you go to the next website and you can't submit on that one because your file size is too big. So it varies between sites, okay? And what I mean by file size is how big the picture is or how much space the photo or video takes up, okay? Modeling agency online applications often have specific file size requirements for uploading images and documents. These requirements vary by agency, but typically range from a few megabytes, MB, to 10 to 16 megabytes. It's crucial to check the application form or instructions for the exact limits and acceptable file formats. For example, are those the same thing, Christopher? I think this is the same thing. I put JPEG and JPEG.
Yeah, that's just abbreviated.
Okay, sorry, I put the same thing. For example, like PNG or JPEG. Uploading files that exceed the specific size may result in rejection of your application or the inability to upload images in the first place. So if you send in the wrong file images, and it does go through, the agency might not be able to open it, or when they open it, the image might be skewed or blurry, and they can't even view it. So they just reject your application. Okay. Choosing the right format, JPEG versus PNG. JPEG is generally good for photos, while PNG is better for images with transparency. You can remove metadata, so remove non-essential metadata like GPS info, camera settings, as this can add to the file size. The way you delete metadata is you would go to your image in your camera roll, you'll click the little three dots, and when it opens info about the photo, it says, oh, this photo was taken in Sacramento, California on this date at this time. You can actually erase that data away from the photo. And then another one is cropping the image. So crop the image to remove unnecessary parts, which can reduce both dimensions and file size. Cropping can also improve the composition of the image, making it more visually appealing. So sometimes my phone is a little crooked when it's on the stand, or I have something in my background that I really just don't need, or have too much room above my head or below my feet, and I could just take that in just a little bit. And so, excuse me, sometimes taking that image in is really all you need to adjust the size to the perfect file size. But sometimes you need to do a little bit more. And that little bit more is what I'm about to go over right now. So, one of the things that I like to utilize, we were talking about this earlier, Christopher, Canva. Canva is a super great tool for making presentations, making comp cards, literally making anything you really need, flyers, brochures, anything. But I like to upload my digitals onto Canva and make comp cards specifically. When it pertains to file sizes, I like to use Canva because they have a built-in tool to resize images, which can also help reduce file size if you're not using the full size. JPEG compresses images effectively while maintaining good quality. Okay. Um, and it says when downloading, most platforms, including Canva, uh, offer a quality slider. So lowering the quality will reduce the file size, but you have to keep in mind that it will reduce the image quality. So if you take it down too much, you're going to get a grainy photo. But if you get it just right, you'll take down the quality just enough so the file size is small and the photo is still clear. Okay. Right now I have this video. It's just going to go over how to do that in Canva. It's like a 2-minute video. I'm going to press play real quick so we can watch that. It's a YouTube video, and there's a ton of these that give examples. Okay. So here it
In
is.
this tutorial, I'm going to show you
Is the volume okay?
You could turn it up a little more if you can.
how to reduce the file size of your images here in Canva. Now, what I'm about to share with you is actually a Canva Pro feature, and if you want to try out a 30-day free trial of Canva Pro, then there will be a link down in the description below. So, let's say that we want to download this image and reduce the size. Now, we can do this on PNGs and we can do this on JPEGs. So if we come up to share just here, come down to download, and then with the JPEG, to reduce the size, we want to play with this quality bar just here. Now we can increase this, which will increase the file size as well, as it says just here, file size large, or we can decrease. So usually the default setting is round about 80, but that might be too large for you. So you can drop this all the way down. As we can see just here, it is changing. It now says medium, or we can drop it down even further to small and keep it round about there. Then all we have to do is choose the image that we want to download, click done, click download, and now we have a reduced file size for this image. Now, like I said, this is a Canva Pro feature, and if you want to know if any feature is a Canva Pro feature, then they will always have this little crown icon next to them. Now that's one way, that's with JPEGs. If you wanted to do this with a PNG, we'd simply change this to PNG just here, and then to reduce the PNG file size, we'd simply want to click this just here, where it says compress file, which means we are going to get the lower quality. And again, we can see this is a Canva Pro feature because it has that little tiny crown. But then we can choose which page we want to do. Number 2, click done, then click download, and then we'll have our reduced file size for our PNG. But that's just how simple it is to reduce the file sizes of your images here in Canva. Now, if you found this video helpful at all, then please consider giving me a like, as it really helps out the channel. And if you're not too sure what to watch next, then click right here and watch this playlist.
All right. So yeah, that's how to do that on Canva, which is one of my favorite ways. But as you guys saw, that is a Canva Pro feature. If you already have Canva Pro, then good, you can do this. If you don't have Canva Pro yet, I suggest getting it because it's really good. But you can also look at some other apps that do have that feature as well for reducing file sizes. Okay. How do I get out of this? Oops. Okay, perfect. It is a great investment. Why is my
In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to reduce the
no, thank you. I don't know why it's not letting me exit this.
It should be just a matter of clicking next or sliding over.
Yeah, I'm trying to do that. It's not letting me do that.
If you need to, you can stop sharing your screen and
trial of Canva.
move
Okay,
it over.
let me go back. Sorry, y'all. Sometimes even Canva has some bumps in the road. Okay. Perfect. Back online. Okay. So now we know about file size, and that was just like a little, hey, this is some really important information that you might run into once in a while. Okay. Now we need to know what kind of applications or submission processes there are. And two of the most common, or I think the only two, I haven't seen any, unless you go in person, are online applications versus email submissions. Okay. Online applications, most commonly, agencies have online portals where models can submit their photos, submit their portfolios, including photos, measurements, and contact information. Online forms often have built-in size limits and can be more secure, ensuring that agencies receive the information as intended. Online submissions are more likely to be seen by a wider range of scouts and agents, as they are often easily accessible through the agency's website. So it's just a direct pipeline straight to the agency. Not to say email submissions are not direct, but it could get lost in a lot of the other emails they receive, and it's less direct that way. Okay. Emails allow for more personalized introductions and a wider range of communication styles, such as a brief introduction or statement about yourself or your modeling goals. Email attachments should be optimized for quick download and viewing, and it's crucial to avoid sending large files that could be overlooked or deleted. So this is one of the things that you kind of have to do yourself when you're submitting through email, is you have to make sure your file size isn't too large, or that way that they can't open it when and view it properly. Okay, email submissions can be easily overlooked, especially if the subject line isn't clear or the email is not formatted well. So the format of the email should be, hello, this is me, here's my measurements, dot, 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 dot. Here's my contact information, dot, dot. Thank you for your consideration. I've attached some attachments below for your viewing purposes of my digitals and previous work. And so you would then go ahead and attach your digitals that you want to submit, usually around 3 or 4 images. And if you want to, this is why emails are really popular for submissions, because you can personalize them. If you want to, you can add a few more images in there from your portfolio, some of your best work, of course. And you can, what I like to do as well is I like to throw in my social media tag in there, and I like to throw in my personal portfolio website link in there as well. So emails are super good if you like introducing yourself and showing a bit of personality in your submissions. Sometimes online submissions have boxes where you can put additional text or answer questions that the agencies have, but oftentimes it's just a box and it has no description on what to type or anything like that. So, does anyone have questions about online applications versus email submissions in specific? Okay, Canva also regularly
I have a question. My bad.
YouTube free.
I
Yeah,
have a question.
what's up? What's your question?
So, like, if you're like signed to an agency or whatever,
Mhm.
could you still do like submissions, like your own personal submissions, or you go to your agency and be like, "Hey, I wanted to go submit these to this person" or something like that?
It depends on your contract. And so I think the next topic is understanding modeling contracts. So, um, I can answer that question in more depth as we go further along in the presentation. But
Yes, ma'am.
short answer, it depends on what your contract outlines. And so we have different exclusivity clauses for different agencies, and I have specific slides about that. Okay. But yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
short answer, it depends on your contract. Okay. Thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
Do we have any more questions before I move on to understanding modeling contracts? No? Okay. So understanding modeling contracts. Here's the types of modeling contracts, okay? So this is what you were just asking about exclusivity, okay? Can I submit to somebody else while I'm signed to you? Okay, so we have exclusive contracts. We have non-exclusive contracts. We have mother agency contracts. We have partially exclusive contracts, and we have one-time job contracts. Okay, and what are these contracts? So exclusive contracts, you can only work with the agency that signs you. The pros of being signed with an exclusive contract is you have strong promotion and investment from the agency. The con is you can't freelance or sign with other agencies without permission first. And it's legally binding. So you work with somebody else, you can get cut from your contract. There's usually outlines of like consequences or legal consequences if you step outside of your contract or you break that. I like exclusive contracts because it usually means that the agency will invest heavily into the promotion of you as a model. So these types of contracts are typically reserved for bigger agencies or agencies that sign bigger name models. And that is because if they have a model that they think they can take all the way, or they have a lot of faith in, or who is maybe super popular on social media, they will give them exclusive contract and they will basically hoard them, but they will invest in promoting them because if they have a model that's not working, if they have a model that's not working, then it's not making them any money. So the investment there is big for exclusive contracts, okay? The non-exclusive contracts, you can work with other agencies or on your own. So this is more for freelance girlies and gentlemen who like to book their own work still, even though they're signed. You have more flexibility and more potential gigs. The con is less personalized support from your agency. So if your agency is non-exclusive, they might not invest time and energy and money into developing you as much as an exclusive contract would, okay? But you have the freedom, okay? Mother contracts. So this is for mother agencies, and Christopher already went over the different types of agencies with you guys. But the first agency to discover or manage you, often internationally. So mother agency likes to take credit for discovering you, okay? The pros of this sort of contract is strong start and support system, including connections with bigger agencies. The cons is they may take a cut from all earnings, even from agencies they connected you with, if they discovered you. So what that means is if I'm a mother agent and I sign Christopher Pollard as one of my models, I build him up, I get him a nice portfolio together, and then I have contacts with Wilhelmina. I'm going to send Wilhelmina a message like, hey, I have this dope model, Christopher, he's been trained, look at his portfolio, professional photos, he's ready to work. Wilhelmina is like, yep, we're going to pick him up. So Wilhelmina picks him up, so now he's signed with Wilhelmina. There may be a clause in the contract that he signed with me as a mother agent that whatever work Wilhelmina books him, I get a cut for discovering him. So you kind of like take credit essentially for getting you those gigs, even if it's through another agency. So the con of that is that the agency that gets you work will take a percentage, and your mother agent or agency might take a percentage as well. So I feel like that's really the only con of having a mother contract. Otherwise, they're usually really super helpful, hands-on. They invest, like the exclusive contracts, a lot of time and energy and money into building you up as a model. Okay. And this is one of the cool ones is partially exclusive contract. A lot of people don't know that this exists. This is when you can find work on your own or work with other agencies outside of specific parameters. For example, location, niche, or payment amount. So the contract might say you can only book jobs yourself if they're paying less than $1,000. Okay, if you are booking any contracts that pay you $1,100, $1,200, $3,000, you have to go through us as the agency. But if they're paying $500, $200, go ahead, book it on your own. Or they might say, hey, we're an agency on the West Coast. You can't work with anybody on the West Coast of the United States, but anywhere else in the United States, go have at it, have a ball, go get signed over there if you want. Okay. Or they might say, you are a high fashion model in our catalog. You cannot book high fashion work with anybody else. You can do Nike sports shoes, you can do Huda beauty shoots, but if it's high fashion, we're not signing off of that. Okay. Some of the pros for signing a partially exclusive contract is the opportunity to make more money on your own or sign multiple agencies. So you have a little bit of flexibility within parameters. And some of the cons is you may still be restricted and have less support from the agency. So this is one of the contracts that doesn't guarantee a lot of support or guidance from your main agency. Okay. And then the last one time or job contracts, a contract for a single gig or campaign. When I was in New York, agency had a casting up. I applied and they hired me for that job. But it was not, it was just a one-time thing. It wasn't like I was getting signed with that agency. There was never any promise of me working with them again in the future. They was like, we just like you and we just want you to do this one job and that's it. Boom. Pro is typically very short term and straightforward. This is how much you're getting paid. This is how much you're working. This is when you're working. Boom. Okay, here's your money. We're done. Okay. Con may be provided smaller amounts in payments and not always available. So these are the type of contracts that aren't always around. And you might not even see them on social media just up there. Hey, one time job with Nike. That's oftentimes not going to happen. So they're not always available, and the amounts you get paid are smaller because this agency or agent or client is not tied to you by any long-term contract. It's just one job, we'll pay you $500, whereas an agency model might get paid $1,000. Okay. Do we have any questions about types of contracts? I hope that answered your earlier question. Just take a look at your contract, read it, reach out to your agent, ask them.
Yeah, this answers everything. I appreciate it.
Okay, perfect, of course. And if you guys see, if you're signed with an exclusive or partially exclusive contract and you're like, I really want to apply to this job, but it does not fit in the parameters, send it to your agent and be like, hey, can you apply to this job for me? Or can you speak on my behalf? Or am I able to apply to this job myself? And your agent will say yes or no, or this is how we can move forward with this opportunity. Okay. We have any more questions? Okay, drop them in the chat if we have any questions. I'm going to move forward. Okay, contract terminology, if you guys want to screenshot this, or I'm sure Christopher will have these slides available to you at a later time as well. But these are just some terms that I like to give people to give them a heads up. Like, this is a word that might be used in your contract. This is what it means, and this is what to watch out for. Okay, I'm not going to go through this, but I'll give you guys 5 seconds to screenshot. I'll make sure Christopher sends it later too. Okay. Boom. Okay. Money matters. I think, oops. Money matters. So money matters to all of us, right? It's how we eat, it's how we pay our bills. So this is what to understand about money, okay? Commission, typically 20%, but can go up to 30% internationally. This is how much you pay your agent or agency to book you work. Okay. 20% is normal across the board. Sometimes you get lucky and it's 15, I don't know about 10, but like 15%, but rarely. It's usually the standard is 20%. If you are booking work internationally, the price does go up. Okay. They like American dollars. Okay. So deductions Some agencies deduct for comp cards, website listings, test shoots, and rent. These are normal charges. These are not scams in and of itself. These are typically normal charges that agencies will give to you on a bill. Okay, they'll be like, "Yep, we want you to move to New York to sign with us, and if you have the ability to do so in your life, and you want to." And you're like, okay, cool. Find me a model apartment to live in, and I will come to New York to work with you guys. And they will find you a model apartment, typically a bed in a small apartment that's shared with like maybe four other people, and they'll charge you per bed. So that is model rent. Okay. Sometimes the model rent is astronomical, but other times it's decent. You have to do your due diligence and shop around. Okay, test shoots are also another one that they will charge for because obviously they have to pay the photographer, but they shouldn't force you to use their photographers if that makes sense. It should be a strong recommendation on behalf of your agency. And website listings. So they might charge you to be posted on their website at it's sort of think of it like an ad fee. So if McDonald's wanted a spot on your Instagram page to promote their new Happy Meal, you would charge them. Yeah, okay. You want ad space on my social media account? I need this much money. So basically that's the same thing. You get an ad space for your headshots and portfolios on their website. And comp cards. Okay. What if they want somebody to come to New York for an interview? Do they need to invest in the travel expenses or that's all us to be paid? So I recently got asked to come to New York too. It's all in the negotiation. So the conversation. You can converse and say, hey, will this be paid? Can you comp or can you cover my 1 to 2 night stay while I'm doing this interview? But oftentimes I don't think they will cover those expenses because you're not signed yet. Unless they really think that they're going to sign you and you have potential to make the agency money, I doubt they're going to fly you out or pay for your hotel before you even sign a contract. For like an interview, I don't think so. So I would make the trip worth it. If you're going for that one interview, get 6 more interviews on the schedule and do 2 photo shoots just to make the trip worth it. Okay. Thank you for your question. Payment terms, oops, too fast. Payment terms, so check out how long after a job you'll be paid. The standard is 30 to 90 days. I think it's called a net 90 or net 30 or net 60. Yes, you have to wait to be paid for business reasons, which I won't say my opinion, but you already know my opinion on is based on my face. You do have to wait between 30 to 90 days to be paid as a model or actor. Okay. Sometimes you'll be paid within the week, on the date, on the spot. If it's freelance, and you book it yourself, you can set those terms. You need to pay me the day I show up to set, or you need to pay me a deposit before I get there. Like you can set those terms as a freelance model, an actor. But if you are in a signed contract with an agency, everybody gets paid before you get paid. So the agency collects the money, they pay out this person, that person, agency takes their cut, and then they process and they usually pay all the models on their roster on the same day of the month. So even if you did it a month ago, you still have to wait until the 10th when the agency does payouts for all their models. And then they'll send you your money on the 10th. And then you have to wait if your bank has processing times, you'll have to wait until your bank process it if it's on a holiday or weekend, so on and so forth. Okay. I keep doing that. And then taxes. You're usually an independent contractor responsible for your own taxes. So on some occasions, there will be a W-2, and that's with longer projects. And that's when you can request taxes being taken out on your behalf. But oftentimes it's a 1099. So that means independent contractor, and you will have to pay your own taxes at the beginning of the next year. So just keep that in mind. Don't blow all your money instantly because you will have to pay taxes on it yourself. Okay. Avoidable things in contracts, just gonna blow through this real quick. Vague languages, like at agency's discretion, have them clarify what that exactly means. Demands for upfront fees or payments, if they're like, yeah, you gotta pay us um $500 in order to sign you, and that's the only way. That's a little bit of a red flag. Requiring to use specific photographers, stylists with high cost. This is one of the things that I mentioned before. It should be a strong recommendation to use their professional team to build your portfolio, not a requirement. Okay. Not allowing you to consult a lawyer first. So if they give you a sharp deadline and you're like, yeah, let me take this contract to my lawyer, give me 2 to 3 business days to decide if I'm signing it. And they're like, no, you don't need a lawyer. Just read it, sign it. You have 2 days, 24 hours to sign it, or else the contract is going to be null and void. That's a red flag. Okay. And lock in clauses that make it hard to leave even with no work available. So lock-in clauses are usually you can't exiting the contract terms is very vague or non-existent at all. So there's no exit plan. Like if you want to quit the contract, there's no plan written out for that. So all of these things are red flags and things you should look out for. And don't be afraid to ask questions. If you're in the middle of the interview with the agent and they're talking about all this and you're like, yeah, well, I read the contract and it doesn't say anything about being able to quit or leave the contract. And they're like, oh yeah, our policy is you can, if you don't book work in the first 60 days, you can quit the contract. And then you would go, oh, but that doesn't say that in the contract. Can you write that in for me and send me an updated version of the contract with that included? So that's where you kind of use your negotiation skills and like, if this is something that you're saying your company does, I want it in black and white ink, in black and white ink on this contract. Okay. Um, and Christopher, do you want me to go over this last slide or you think I'm probably done talking myself?
I know it can feel like that sometimes. I do these Zoom calls. I'm like, oh, damn, 2 hours went by.
Sorry.
But yeah, if it's the last slide, you can go ahead and just run through it.
Okay, starting your
After
career.
this, it's
Yeah.
just about applying, you know.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, and I'll do like a 5 minute sesh or 2 minute sesh where we answer quick questions for everybody, okay? So this is my last slide, starting your career. I just kind of like to add this in to tie all this information in a pretty bow. Oh wait. No, actually we can ignore this slide because this is for my personal clients who do my program. So I lied. Okay, this is what I'm promising my clients. If you guys want, I thought this was more information, but
Not
yeah,
you trying to pitch them.
no, I promise I'm not. They get all this information from you. They don't need to take my program. Okay, cool. That's it then. Yeah, if we have any questions, drop them in the chat so we can go over a little more detail about anything that you guys were confused about, or you want more clarification. Or yeah, or you guys just want to add your own experiences down there so we can talk about them later on. You can do that. Other than that, I'm done, Christopher. Do you have any questions or comments for me?
Are you still offering the agency automation right now, or is the submission process for that closed?
I think I'm going to open it again after ModelCon, only because it's a lot going on right now. I just moved to LA and I'm still kind of getting my bearings about me in the city. But yeah, I think I'll open it up again after ModelCon is over. So probably like November-ish.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Well, look out for that, everybody. Agency automation. I don't know if we're going to open up Model Society again. And it's a little bit tough when I prefer to do those in person,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to posing lessons. I know some people like to charge $2,000 to do a FaceTime posing video. Inside joke. All right. Not really a joke, though.
Thank you for the congratulations. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you.
All right, so let me get my camera turned on again. All right, here we go. Awesome. Thank you again, Fatima, for breaking all that down. Go ahead and pin myself at the top one more time. And so now here we are. You're full of information, pages of notes, and you guys have been pretty consistent with showing up for these live calls over the last 4 days. And like I said, it's just about implementation. And if you haven't done some of the assignments yet, or you need to catch
Overwhelmed.
I'm grateful for the information because in the past I've been taught the wrong information and I ran into a lot of scams and everything. But it's nice to finally hear the right thing and not someone who's just greedy for the wrong reasons.
Right, right. Yeah, we like to be transparent about the information out there. There's no rhyme or reason to being gatekeeping to this information.
Sorry about that, y'all. Looks like I got kicked off randomly. Was that just me or?
No, that was all of us. That was my bad, but it was also your fault because you made me a host and you didn't unhost me, and I tried to log on my iPad and it kicked everybody out
Oh,
to
we're
zero.
back. We're back. All right, cool. So looks like you guys were in the middle of saying something. You guys can go ahead with that.
No, I was just asking everybody how they feel about the information that they've been receiving so far. But you can continue with what you were saying before I rudely cut you off.
Okay, no problem. So yeah, I was just saying, as far as homework assignments, and I think I asked a question earlier. I didn't see much of a response, but let me know who in the chat to say yes or no if you've done this part. Have you researched or looked up at least 5 different agencies that you would like to submit to yet? Uh, I see Martin has. Okay, a couple of people have done that. Still looking and researching, not yet. All right, so those of you who have done it, do you also have your digitals done? Have you taken those, or do you have some that you're um, looking to submit? Some people are still doing the research. Some people are still updating their digitals. All right, Fatima's logging out now. Thank you, Fatima. Hopefully, I don't think you're a co-host anymore, so we should be good this time. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and can digital be placed on comp card itself? Yes, digital should be on your comp cards. You don't need to have a comp card with portfolio images. I know sometimes we see both where it's just digitals and see another one where it's like creative images and things from your different shoots that you've done. You can primarily stick to just doing comp cards with digitals unless specifically asked. I find that to be the best because sometimes when you do a bunch of different portfolio images on your comp card, it could be harsh lighting, it could be shadowy, it could be a lot of makeup, it could be have a completely different look, and it's hard to tell what your natural look is. So digitals on your comp card is fine.
With the headshot as well on the other side, or just
Yes, a headshot on one side and at least 4 images on the back. And I can show you what, let me pull up Fatima's comp card that way. It's actually pinned at the top of her Instagram page, but I'll just show you guys really quick what hers is because that's the fastest one I know I can get to right now. But after I show you this, I'm gonna give you some time. Maybe spend about 5 minutes, just play some music and let those of you who haven't yet find agencies to submit to. Right, so this is Fatima's comp card pinned at the top of her page, headshot on the front, her name at the bottom. And then we scroll over And we have a collection of 4 images on the backside. Her name again at the bottom, and then below that, she cropped it out just for social media. But below the name would be your measurements and your contact information, so phone number and email, so the casting directors know how to reach you after the fact. You can also put your Instagram name on there too. So very simple. It can be black or white, 4 images on the back, 1 image on the front. Don't overthink it. It's just boom, boom, boom. And if you notice as well, each image is a little bit different than the last. So we have the profile, the full body, a 3/4 body, and like a 3/4 profile, which is sort of looking away from the camera. Very straightforward and simple. Okay. You can also do that on Canva. And if you're not very tech savvy, we have some Canva templates that we have created of example comp cards. This should be also in your comp card guideline. There's a document that has sent over it's in our Google Drive that you can download to make sure that you crossing all your T's and dotting your I's on the format and the information. So couple of things. We provided a Google Drive link that gives you a guideline of how to create a comp card. And we also have a Canva link that we can share with you to where you can just drag and drop those photos over and update it and save it for yourself. If you need us to provide that to you, we can definitely do so. But like I said, how many should you print out? It depends on where you're going. If you're coming to ModelCon, of course, then I would say at least 10 would be good. If you run out, it's a good problem to have, right? So if you do happen to run out of them, then exchanging contact information so that you can follow up and email that document over later. But if you're a diamond badge and you're coming to the in-person submission, I would save the majority of them for that day. That way you can turn them into the agency scouts that we're going to have in person. And so we'll have 6 or 7 agencies present during the submission process, but there might be some brands, production companies, other types of producers that you want to give your comp card to during day one as you're mixing and mingling. Then you got a few extra for, so maybe like 10 to 15, I would say. But it's networking in general. You have to get in the habits of just exchanging numbers, taking emails, getting Instagram pages, saving that Instagram name and page into a folder so that you can remember, like, who was it that I met yesterday? I have some methods that I use when I'm networking with people, but there's a lot of sometimes quick conversations, shaking hands. What do you do? Okay, great. Yeah, what's your contact? Let's get in contact in the future. And there's not always time to like search through, pull out an item. Here's my comp card, and then, you know, they don't necessarily maybe want to walk around with 50 comp cards from all the people that they've met that day. So at the end of the day, phone numbers and emails is going to be the ultimate win. But in-person castings and submissions is more of a traditional spot for you to turn physical comp cards in. All right. So again, let me share. I'll just play some music. I want you guys to do the research now, find or catch up on some of your assignments, find some agencies that you want to submit to. And now that we have gone through this submission process, we can actually start applying before the end of the call today, even if it's just one agency that we submit to before the end of this call. So we have about 30, 45 minutes left. I don't think we're going to need that much time, but let's try to get it done. All right, so let me get my music. Yes, somebody had a question?
Your dog?
I think somebody just unmuted by accident. That's okay. Uh, I'll play some lo-fi. It's a good thinking music. All right. We'll give it a couple of more minutes, y'all. A couple more minutes. right. How are we doing? Where are we at? Who has at least 2 to 3 agencies that they're interested in submitting in right now? And we can kind of go through those steps together.
There was one. There was actually two that I found, but the ones that I found, one is called Vision Models. They don't accept me because I'm 51, so they only take it up to 24. And then
Okay.
there's Jag Model, but I'm not really. I looked at their website, and I'm not really feeling it because I've what Fatima said about the red flags thing. But then there's this one that I was looking at called Brown Agency. Um, Brown Agency. And then of course there's also Wilhelmina and stuff like that,
Mhm.
the legit ones that I'm actually know is legit, So there are those.
Okay. Let's start with I saw you and Martin. So do you have your digitals, Angel? I know we kind of emailed back and forth about them. Are you still updating?
I'm still because remember I said I noticed my outfit,
Right.
the dress that I'm wearing in my comp card is like got prints of like designs on them. So I gotta get all that done. I found like this studio that's like $20 for an hour, natural light, and it's hard for me to catch the light sometimes. So it's got natural lighting, and I have a friend who works at um one of the bars down here who actually does photography and knows and stuff. So I asked him if he was like he's willing to help me. So, it's just all about the timing and everything. But before the event, I will have it taken care of.
Okay.
It's just a matter of getting the right, because I have my own camera, which is this one. I had it
Okay.
for a
Yeah.
while, so you know, I use it for acting, modeling, and music anyway. So
Okay, perfect. So, still taking some steps there. Keep doing the research. You might want to specifically search for mature modeling agencies or look for agencies that have a mature section after you get into like 40s, 50s and up, then that would be the category of modeling that you're looking for. And I did come across one on Instagram. I'll see if I saved it. I'm not sure if I did, but I saw an agency that was like specifically for 40 plus models. And I don't remember where they're located or anything, but I know that they exist, right? So keep looking for that. And it might be a little bit easier to navigate if you are typing in that type of information instead of just modeling agency and you're getting a whole bunch that aren't related to what you're specifically trying to apply to. But it looks like Martin has his agency list and digitals ready. So let's see, which agencies do you have on your list so far, Martin?
Well, I just submitted for a couple on our little break, but I have Ford models, LA models, IMG, DNA, Elite, and I was also thinking about TNG out of Vegas.
Okay, so you've already submitted to them. Did you have any issues? Was it just pretty straightforward?
It's pretty straightforward. I want to submit for TNG also, but they require like a introduction video, so I need to do that
Right.
along with everything else.
Okay, so how many of you submitted to so far?
Just two so far on our little break.
Okay. All right, perfect. It looks like you might be one of the only few that have both your digitals and the agencies that you want to submit to right now. I know the 5 day challenge is it gets a little harder when it's like, okay, I have to do my digitals like in the next 24 or 48 hours. So some of you are still working on that, especially if you don't have a cell phone tripod or a friend to take them for you. It can be a bit more challenging. I know the digitals that you sent me, and we had talked a little bit on Instagram about the cropping. You were trying to make sure that the windows or the background wasn't too distracting against the white wall that you had. So when you and you took them again, and then everything just went straight into the agency submission on the website, or did they give you any pushback for a sizing or a file type?
No, everything was good. I was just making sure that it came out crisp and clear on that end as well, and it looked like it did. So I asked for like a 3/4, a close up, and then full body, side profile, all that.
Okay. Okay, perfect. All right, cool. Well, I don't think
I'm
we
just
need
gonna
to.
go to like Walgreens and um, get a comp card with my headshot and then the digitals and the measurements. So I'll be doing that today.
Okay. All right, sounds great. Thank you for sharing. Keep on going. And this is how we start doing keeping the accountability. So also inside the Google Drive, there is the Agency Academy workbook. Let me see what page it is, but there is a page specifically that has to do with helping you remember which agencies you submitted to, the date that you submitted to them, and the if you heard back, yes or no. So I think uh, it is one, two, three, fourth to the last page inside the Agency Academy workbook. It's called the Agency Application Checklist. So if you look at that as you're submitting, you can put the agency's name, if you meet the requirements, yes or no. Did you submit your digitals, and then the date that you applied to it? So even if you find an agency and you're like, I like this one, but I don't like it, or I don't meet the requirements, you can kind of check off or X yes or no, because there's so many different types of agencies. You may come across it again and not even remember if you submitted or how long ago you submitted to it. And I don't know if Fatima touched on this as well, but when you submit to an agency, you have you can resubmit after about 3 months. So if you go 90 days, you submit to an agency, you didn't hear back, or they told you no, then you can resubmit to the agency again, maybe with some updated digitals. You've been working on yourself, you gained some weight, you lost some weight, you changed your hair, whatever it is, and you can come back, hey, I know I submitted already. It's been 90 days. Let's try this again. So sooner than that, it can be maybe a bit of an overload for them because they don't need you to submit and submit and submit. If they haven't responded to you in 2 weeks, you can probably assume that that's a no or a not interested. Not every agency is going to let you know that they don't want to sign you, they just won't respond. So it's usually a 2 week time period. If you don't hear back yet, then assume it's a no, wait 90 days and try again. All right. So always making sure that you're improving yourself, your digitals, your confidence, your look as much as possible so that when you do submit again, it's like, hey, I'm back, I'm better, I've made some changes and made some improvements. All right.
I'm also
Anybody else? Yes.
just one little quick thing. My buddy who I'm coming with, who is also a diamond badge, isn't able to be on these calls. So I'm going to make sure he gets the correct information, his digitals and his headshots ready to go, so he comes prepared also.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. So if does he already have a diamond badge?
He does, yeah.
Okay. So he should have access to the Discord. If not, I think I'm not sure if y'all have the ability to send the invite link to Discord or if I need to do that as a moderator. But if so, I can send you or him the direct link to get into the Discord, and that way he can get access to the replays and he can still get all the same information.
If you can please send me the link so then I can pass it forward to him
Okay.
tomorrow. I'll be meeting with him in person tomorrow.
Okay.
I'll
Perfect.
just pass it to him.
Got it.
Cool.
All right. So anybody else have any questions or anybody want to go through the application steps right now live? That's what we're here for. If you have your digitals, you have an agency you want to submit to, and you want us to go through it together, we can do that now. If not, then I'll leave you to it. Have the rest of the day to finish your research, to update your goals on your Clarity tools, to update your social media. That's actually a step that you should be taking prior to submitting, especially the social media page, so that you have your location, your height, you clear out any photos that are not relevant to modeling or maybe not the best quality, as we've gone through that already too. So do some social media audit before you start submitting to agencies too, because they may like your look and then immediately go look you up and then see something that they maybe turns them off from wanting to respond or reach back out to you. Also making sure that your Instagram page is public, not private, right? So make sure you go through those steps. And if you have to, or you really, really want to, you can create a brand new Instagram page specifically for modeling. If that's the case, post some photos on there, right? You can't have a brand new page with no icon, no photos on it, no information. And so again, you have to look like you're a model, or at least aspiring to be a model on your page, even if it's a cell phone photo. All right, it's all about quality work. Can you share the Google link, please? I don't see it in Discord. It should be in Discord. There's multiple chats. There's the general chat, and then there's the 5-day agency challenge chat. And I will, once we log off here on Zoom, I'll just repost the entire the Google Drive link. I'm actually on Google Drive right now, so I'll post it in there so everybody can get it, including the people who are not on this call. And boom, it's already done. All right. I'm working on applying to Scout, Model, and Talent Agency, but I need to work on my Instagram page. Yeah, so Scout, are you in the Bay Area? Scout Agency, yeah. That's a great agency. I've communicated with them a couple of times and trying to get them to come to ModelCon. Haven't been successful on that yet. I will say that particular agency is probably a little more challenging to be accepted by, not to discourage you. I just think that they are particular. They had an in-person casting here in Sacramento a few years ago. A lot of people showed up and very great, friendly, nice people. I forget the lady's name. It might be Nicole that I spoke to. Um, but yeah, if you can get in with them, that would be phenomenal. They're a great agency in the Bay Area. Yeah.
I have a quick question for you.
Yes.
On our Instagram, because I have three. I have one for my Faith in Action News Network, which is what I do for the community, you know, feeding the poor and all that and stuff. And then my personal one, and it has Angel White 318. That's my personal. And then I have my White A Mashawn, or White Mashawn, because White's my last name, Mashawn's in my middle. And on there, it's got my modeling photos on there. And also like my lifestyle, you know, like me and my husband, you know, and me, you know, with actors who go to horror fests, who starred in scary movies, and like Danielle Harris and Taylor Scott Compton, and you know, CJ Grams, who played Jason Voorhees on Part 6. So I have that on my modeling, acting, music Instagram. Does that work or no?
Yeah, what is it? I'm looking at it. I'm going to look it up right now.
It's
White,
White Mashawn,
spell Mashawn. I found you.
MASHAUN. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see, do you mind if I share my screen?
No, I don't mind.
Okay, okay. All right, let's see here. Trying to make my screen.
The one that says singing rehearsal, that's me doing like a singing rehearsal. I could probably get rid of that one because I'm going in for singing, modeling, and acting. I've been wanting to do that since I was a kid, you know, and everything. And I just recently added comp card and the other one right there, you know, the first two. I just recently added those, but I'm going to get rid of the comp card because it cuts half of my head off. and everything.
Right, right. So this comp card can be updated. This photo here um, is more in alignment with how a digital should look. I would say like the bottom of your toe is cut off. I mean, it is. I'm being particular because some agencies are going to be particular like that too. Like, so make sure your full body's in the shot. Ideally, actually, you wouldn't be wearing ripped jeans either. So
Yeah.
like black leggings or solid jeans is great. You have
Okay.
long hair here, but this covers a lot of your body. And
Right.
so having your hair behind you pulled back into a ponytail, having photos like that is good too because they want to see your full facial structure.
Okay.
I think that was pretty common with a lot of these photos, right? Your hair is coming
Yeah.
across your body, and you know, here on this shoulder, I would have taken that off of your shoulder and just put it all to the left side of your body, so it's not um,
Oh,
like that too.
okay.
Okay, so let's see what else.
And the one underneath that one right there, that was at IPOP where I attended it, and it had over 250 industry professionals, casting agents, all of that I attended, and I could get that off if I have to.
Yeah, I mean, it's not helping, it's not hurting.
Right.
It's just a video of your experience there. Is can't really see you,
Yeah.
and most people, as their attention span, are not going to even watch this all the way through. And
Right.
you didn't put any caption, you just put some hashtags. So I guess I could figure it out. But adding some context to things like this too, like, oh, I had a great time here at IPOP, and people on your social media, they want to see you as well.
Right.
So taking video of like where you're at, but then also taking video of you doing the thing. So people on your Instagram, they want to see you doing it, not
The one
just,
with the billboard,
yeah.
that's where I wasn't in New York. I went through Fashion Republic magazine and they posted me. I submitted my photos and they posted me for that.
No, that's great.
Uh,
Yeah, no, that's cool. Not very many people have the opportunity to be on the billboard like that. And so I would leave that up. It shows modeling. Um, just really quick, again, if you're making TikToks, it's better not to post TikToks on Instagram that show the TikTok logo on it. And
okay.
Instagram doesn't like it. And there's a way to save videos prior, so it's Instagram feels like it's an original video too.
Okay.
And don't forget to add captions, right? There's no caption here. Like
Okay.
describe what's happening, what you're doing, and that sort of thing. Um, let's see.
I didn't know Instagram doesn't push TikTok if you post it.
Yeah, that's the ops.
And the one with me down there with the ball gown, that was Avanti Scouting. It was a 3-day event. Um, they was teaching us the runway, the posing, the walking, and all of that. So if I have to, I could get rid of it or I could keep it if
This
it's
photo is nice. This photo is great. Again, you just have like this logo here at the bottom. It looks like it might be the photographer's info. That maybe it was a screenshot. I'm not sure why that logo is right there.
yeah.
But the image overall is great. See if you can get the original image
Okay.
without logos on it.
Okay.
Sometimes photographers will put a watermark on there, but because the TikTok symbol is there, so I'm just kind of confused.
And
But
that one is like my actor's workshop, and the other one is, like I said, the runway thing. So if I have to get rid of it, I can.
no, these images, I like these images to showcase who you
Mm,
are.
I can get rid of that if I have to. That one.
Is this like just for fun?
No, it's a horror fest that happens in Houston, Texas every year. And that's something I attend for networking to meet like the actors like you see right here where Danielle Harris, Taylor Scout Compton, the Girls of Halloween, the guy right there who played on the actor right there who played, you know, Candyman and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
That's my lifestyle. I network every time they come into town. And there's different actors that you could take a selfie with, autograph, and a photo op with.
Yeah. So I'm analyzing, right? I like that you're showing lifestyle, you're going places, you're doing things, and that's all good. So here, I like that this is a carousel. I
Yeah.
think the biggest consistent issue here, I say, is there's no caption for context. You
Okay.
have to describe what it is that we're looking at, what we're doing, where you're at, like
Okay.
you're just share your experience. Because if I look at this, I'm like, why is she posting a bloody photo of this guy? And then I don't even recognize this guy smiling.
Right.
So it's just context. But if you posted this photo first, oh, I had the pleasure of meeting such and such actor from Candyman and blah blah blah, and then
Yeah.
had this secondary, would be like, oh, okay, that's the guy from the movie. So you got to make
And
sure
that one right
people
there is me in
understand
the
what you're
Fashion Republic
saying or
magazine.
doing. But yeah, you got this modeling page is fine.
Okay.
Some of these images are a little repetitive, right? So if you have a photo shoot, you don't need to post one photo of it and then another photo of it and then another photo of it. You can just make one post and keep them all like in a carousel.
Okay.
Yeah. But
And the other
otherwise,
one that you see is
mhm.
me in the Fashion Republic magazine. I I'm actually in in two of them. The second one that I did in Fashion Republic was a full interview of my life and me, and a whole cut page of just my picture. So I didn't post it yet, but you know.
Yeah. Okay. We'll keep going with that. I know it can be a lot to understand the nuances of social media. So
Yeah,
I wanted to give you a quick little analysis. But thank you for sharing.
you're welcome.
Um,
So like, I got a quick question for you.
yes.
So like on my Instagram, I do like music and stuff like that, and I'm trying to like get into modeling. So what everything is saying that like I know it probably a lot of things I shouldn't have on there. Like for instance, like the TikTok stuff, did not know that at all. Definitely gonna take a lot of stuff on there and just have TikTok it off. But just saying that, but like, should I be taking a lot of this stuff that I have old of music, like I like the old stuff? Maybe I did old shows way back in the when and don't need to have it on there anymore or something like that. Just like this as a rapper, just per se. How do I come at this into for my Instagram and changing it up mostly for modeling for somebody? Well, if I show them my Instagram, they want to know like, what are you trying to do? You trying to do music modeling? What are you trying to do? Well, I'm trying to get into modeling.
So you do both, right?
Yes, sir.
And which one is your main focus?
At the moment, modeling
Okay.
for sure.
So because you're an artist and a model, what I would do is lean into building that as more of your personal brand. And we're going to talk more about this specifically tomorrow. But
Okay.
because you have the talent of making music, and like a lot of music artists, actors, people who don't necessarily model also do photo shoots, also do publications, or also doing things that are similar to what a model would do. So in this case, it's a great way to show your diversity and your skill set. Like, yes, I'm on stage and I'm performing, but I'm also doing a photo shoot. That photo shoot could be for a cover of your album or for your
Right.
single, or that could be more related towards not yourself, but the product or service that you're showcasing as a model. So the difference really is like the artist is like, hey, look at me. I'm an artist. I'm doing something cool and I'm on camera, and that edifies you to make you look like, you're on top of your stuff and you're doing it. The
It's
model,
like sometimes my bad. I'm doing. I mean to cut you off. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You can continue. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say that one of the biggest differences for the model, they're not necessarily highlighting themselves as much as a music artist would, but
Mm,
they're highlighting the product or service. So if you have both on there, it does show a range of your skill set.
okay. Okay. Never mind. You just answered my question. So never mind.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
thank you.
No problem.
Well, so like, well, I don't want to say something else, but last thing I would say, just in saying all that, Um, like for like you know how like you post some things like say I have a show, I'll post like the flyer or whatever, like old stuff. Like should I just be taking all that stuff off and just having more like pictures and like if I do have videos or whatever, just like leave the videos and stuff on there.
Right. Yeah. Don't
Okay,
have a lot of flyers and graphics on your page.
I
You
got you.
want your images on your page to be about you, what you're doing, and the photos that you're taking. When I see Instagram pages and have just flyer, 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 I'm already disinterested. So we don't want it. Sometimes you post a flyer because you have something coming up. It's important. You want people to share it. But then after it's over, you could take that flyer down and then you just show, the actual experience from that. Cool. All right, anybody else? Questions? I see Alexandria. Where are all the homeworks from the first day? The Clarity tools, Create Digitals, and Comp Card, Find Five agencies. Yeah, so yesterday we talked about social media and updating your profile. The replay is available inside the Discord now. And it was just about making sure that you have your name on your social, your location, your height, and optimizing your profile for agencies and brands to want to see more and discover you a bit. So we used Chat GPT as a way to do this as well. We can screenshot your chat and you screenshot your Instagram page, upload that screenshot into Chat GPT, give it a prompt about if you were a modeling agency, what would you want to know about my profile that isn't showcased here, something like that. That way it can be analyzed with AI and it'll tell you directly, hey, you should probably do this if you want agencies to scout you or recognize you or understand what it is that you're doing. Nicole says, I have a question. I I don't have a lot of photos on my Instagram, but was in a small fashion show recently. I have a boomerang of the dress, but it doesn't show my face, and I have a group picture, but the picture isn't flattering. Should I just keep the boomerang of the dress and forget the one that isn't flattering? Yeah, so honestly, I don't. Boomerangs just being posted by itself are not that great on your main feed. Boomerangs and those types of images or contents are created specifically for story posts, not for main feed posts. So if you were in a fashion show, ideally you should have photos or videos of yourself on the runway. And that's the main shot that you would need or want to have displayed on your Instagram feed. Uh, I'll send you, there's a model I follow. Her name is Eve. Yeah, Eve on Instagram, and she does this really well. She does a lot of shows, a lot of events, and she'll not only show the image or video of her on walking out on the stage, but she'll oftentimes post a carousel of this is me on stage, this is me backstage, this is me getting my hair and makeup done, this is me after my final look, and it's just cool because it's almost like she's telling a story through images and it's really just like her lifestyle. This is where she went. This is what happened. This is the result of me being there. So if you're doing a show or an event, and hopefully there's photographers there, and there's photographers taking your pictures, get the contact information of that photographer. Sometimes you got to go out of your way to be like, hey, photographer, can you take a picture of me and then send it to me later? If you're not very tech savvy, or you don't have the newest and greatest phone, sometimes it's hard to do it on your own. So network with the photographers that are there. And yeah, boomerangs, I would say leave on your story and only post the best images of yourself that you can. So if you have an image that say it's like too dark, not flattering, can't really see yourself, your face isn't in it, then I wouldn't bother. Um, So no need to create a second IG to do music as well. You don't need to. No, no, I wouldn't say that there's actually another artist that I know she's a model and a rapper. but her page looks really good. Let me just do all this now so I don't forget. Her name's like Low Forge on Instagram. It's just, it really kind of is going to come down to like quality of work. So I'm gonna paste this into the chat. That one I just sent you is a model and musician. She does both. Her page is great, and she does use AI technology to make some content, and she has a lot of lifestyle stuff on there too. So Eve, I'm gonna send you her page now.
Oh, dang.
Copy. All right, so that's Eve. She has amazing content, great model. And if you looked at the carousels of her working, she usually will post a great photo on the front, and then as you slide through, you'll see them like behind the scenes photos and videos of her actually doing the thing. So those two pages I just sent you right now are great examples of people who are using social media the right way. And if you're watching the replay, I'll post these Instagram pages inside the Discord too. All right, one more question here. If we only post our modeling pics, what types of videos would you recommend we post to increase engagement? As well as how often should we delete reels to keep them fresh? You don't have to delete reels. You don't have to delete them. How often you should post as often as you can, without overwhelming yourself. Um, what types of videos? Straight out of your phone. No editing, no fancy text, no glitter going across, no weird cap cut transitions where the pictures and they flip around and do all that weird stuff. Just organic, straight out of the phone. Make sure that the back of your camera is like clean and you wipe it off. Sometimes I see people posting like blurry, low quality photos. And it's like, dude, clean your lens. That's it. And like these cameras on your phone, they do so well already. You don't have to do much else. But those example pages I just sent you, they will have some stuff and you can be like, oh, okay, this is how I do it. And a lot of times it looks like they just have a personal photographer following them around. Ideally, you're going to places where there are already photographers there, professional photographers there, and you just get the content from them. Sometimes you got to wait a week, sometimes you got to wait a month before you get all the content together. But if you don't trust yourself taking photos, use theirs. Let's see. I'm still not in the Discord. How are you getting access to the live call if you're not in the Discord group? Because I haven't been sending out the link to Zoom every day. Let me see. I have to get the link. All right, here's the Discord link. I did send it out directly, but if you didn't register for the Zoom or the Discord, sometimes the Discord link expires after a few hours. I'm not sure why it does that. Oh, so yeah, you don't have the space to download it. You can join Discord on a computer too. So if you have a laptop or a computer, you can join on there, a desktop, if you can't get it on your phone. Yes, your Instagram name is fine. It's your name and you're good with that. All right, cool. All right, well, that's about 2 hours. It's 1 o'clock now. I won't hold you guys too long. I got to put these two videos together, the one that we got kicked off on and the final part of this second half. and I'll have that replay to you as soon as possible. Every other day that we've done so far, maybe with the exception of yesterday, should be in the chat now. And don't hesitate to ask any questions. Use the Discord, communicate, help each other out. Me and Fatima will jump in there as much as possible too. And we got one more day for this 5-day challenge tomorrow, 11 a.m. PST. Hopefully, you have your digitals done. Hopefully, you have your research done. And we're going to apply some more. And then we're going to talk about another aspect of this game, which is personal branding and how to develop that on social media, which will also increase the amount of opportunities that you can make for yourself. All right. So great job, everyone. Keep up the hard work, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a great day.